Woo! Welcome back, pals and gals. I am your host, Captain Kuba, and today I'm going to be talking about God of War. I know, shocker, but what is truly shocking is what I found in Tyr's Vault, or at least what I think I found. As you know, Tyr's Vault is full of artifacts from every other mythology, like African, Chinese, and of course Egyptian. All of these artifacts fall into certain categories, like ritualistic, for worship purposes, and in the case of the sword and shield, for battle purposes. You know, come to think about it, the shield has the face of Medusa engraved on it. Could this be Perseus' shield? But his shield was left in Greece years before. Maybe this Perseus is not the real one. Maybe there are two Perseus. Okay, getting back to the theory. All of the items in the room seem to be pointing more for a religious purpose, except this one. From the moment I saw it, I felt there was something weird about it.
What is that? That's one of the most modern things I've seen.
On my latest playthrough, I decided to really look at the items, so I used the photo mode plus the light coming from Kratos' axe to get a better view. I soon started to realize things that did not align to the characteristics of the other items in the room, like the crank on the side or the measuring marks identical to a ruler or a measuring tape, along with the bolts and also the words looking very similar to English or German, as opposed to the more hieroglyphic looking ones in the room. From a quick glance, the item looks more modern than the other ones, and you know how the saying goes, if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. Because my friends, this is a modern item. It's a solar system model. What? Yeah, believe it or not, this is a representation of a solar system. Here we have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. You will notice that there are some irregularities on the model from what our updated model looks like Jupiter being closer to the Sun than Mars, or Saturn not having its rings. But let's put a pin on that for now, and go back to why is it so shocking to have a solar system model in the God of War universe. After all, people in the ancient world did look to the night sky to study the astronomical patterns of the planets. But what is odd is the kind of solar system was shown here. You see, as smart as Aristotle and Ptolemy were, they did propose some bad ideas to the masses, like the geocentric model, which had planet Earth at the center of the universe, with the Sun, Moon and other planets revolving around the Earth. But what we have here in this game is a heliocentric model, which had the Sun at the center of the universe. This idea only gained popularity in the 1600s, when Galileo Galilei proved it beyond the shadow of a doubt. Now, there may be someone who's into the history of scientific discoveries and is ready to point out that there were people before Galileo who proposed the heliocentric model, like Nicholas Copernicus, or even older, Aristarchus of Samos, who proposed the idea as early as the 2nd century BC. So maybe someone before the 1700s did the model for Tyr, no need to mention time travel. But to that imaginary statement I have two counter arguments. Number one, if we assume for a second that the God of War events truly did happen sometime in history, we would have to assume that it was a really long time ago, an era of zero scientific interest. This is a time when people thought the Earth was on top of a giant turtle, so even if the game had given us a geocentric model with planet Earth at the center of the universe, it would still be amazingly scientific, because God of War takes place before the BC era, if that makes any sense. But the game went one step ahead and gave us a heliocentric model. But my friends, this is no ordinary heliocentric model. For example, let's analyze how many planets that Aristarchus of Samos counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now Copernicus in the 1500s counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And lastly, Galileo from the 1600s counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's count how many we have in the God of War model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hit the dramatic plot twist reveal sound effect. There are 7 planets in this solar system. Why is that? Since the time of Aristarchus of Samos proposed the idea of a heliocentric universe, he always counted 6. Copernicus also, and even Galileo with the help of a telescope, only counted 6. It wasn't until 1781 when William Herschel discovered a 7th planet, Neptune. You know, come to think about it, Neptune is the god of the sea in Roman mythology. Maybe he wants to take revenge for killing Poseidon, god of the sea. Okay, sorry. Anyways, the inclusion of the 7th planet to the model grounds this item even further in time, to the 1700s. And if you look at astronomical equipment from the 1700s, you will see that they look very similar. I personally couldn't find this item, but if you do, please leave a comment below explaining what this is. But I think there's a reason why I couldn't find an item identical to this one. I think whoever brought the solar system model is a time traveler from the 1700s, but not the 1700s that we know of. he would have to come from an alternate reality. Remember when I pointed out that the planets seem different from our updated solar system? Like Mars being further from the Sun than Jupiter, or Saturn not having its rings? Well, this solar system is out of whack, and there's already a bit of this idea in the game. Corey has said that when Atreus gets mad, the universe starts to go out of balance, represented with the sky turning red, ash falling, and even thunder striking. This will only get worse by the time Ragnarok arrives.
Oh, I can tell you a thing or two about family matters.
Let me guess. Your brother isn't as talented as you, and his work is junk.
Those things are accurate. Your point?
It's all you ever talk about, over and over. Do something about it or shut up already.
I see.
Yeah! We're sick of hearing about little people's little problems!
All right.
Or even worse, if Santa Monica decides to use a concept for the ending of the series proposed by David Jaffe, one of the original God of War creators, where it has all of the other mythologies come to fight each other. The end result could be catastrophic, and given that Tyr was a god who liked to keep the peace at all costs, it seems only natural for a time traveler from an alternate 1700s would come back in time and gift him this solar system, to remind him of what could happen if he does not act properly. And it's not like the idea of time travel is too far-fetched, since the game mentions that Jormungand came back in time, or the fact that the series is being directed by the legendary Cory Balrog, who introduced time travel in his first God of War game. Guys, time travel is happening whether you like it or not. But come on, it's time travel, who doesn't like it? So in conclusion, here's what the theory looks like. Someone in the 1700s woke up one day tired of all the problems the planet was suffering, like glass raining down from on Earth or water vaporizing in seconds. Realizing that he couldn't do anything about the problems, he decided to go to the source of the problem, the past. So he created a solar system model with a crank and measurements to calculate the trajectory of planets. He then proceeded to use a time traveling machine to go back to the period God of War takes place in. He gave Tyr the solar system and explained to him that if he did nothing about it, future generations would have to deal with glass raining down from the sky or water vaporizing in seconds. And given that Tyr is a noble, caring, and just god, he decided to go to different mythologies and explain to them to keep the peace, because if war broke out between the different mythologies, the end results could be catastrophic. But along the way, something happened to Tyr. No one knows what happened to him, whether he's dead or alive. A few years later, Kratos and Atreus came across Tyr's vault and found the solar system. The end. So there you have it, guys, my craziest theory so far. But what do you think? Is it a solar system model? Could it have been given to Tyr by an 18th century time traveler? Whatever your take is, I want to read it down in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a like and share it on social media. It really helps the channel grow. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for more God of War content. It really means a lot. But if you're not sure about subscribing to my channel, you might want to check out a few of my other videos, like my previous God of War theory of the identity of the boar, or my top 10 future God of War bosses. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.